So we have just wrapped up the last day of our Dubai Mastermind. We've had an amazing 4 days with an amazing group. We're about to now head to Abu Dhabi for the Formula One, where we're going to be watching the race from a yacht on the trackside, which we're really looking forward to. And we're on the Palm. We host the event at a beautiful villa on the Palm, which you can see behind me. It's one of my favorite places in the world. It's so beautiful. But I wanted to really create this video to share 5 reflections I've had over the last few days. We've had some incredible conversations, some incredible guest speakers that have built multiple 8-figure property businesses, that have built businesses in other industries that are doing tens of millions, over 100 million in revenue, individuals that are on the brink of exiting their businesses for 9 figures. And so yeah, this is the 3rd event I've done, and there's always, I'm just a student to the game. I just believe that you always need a student mentality, and wanted to share some of the things that I've learned from hosting the event as well. And one of them, the first one, is that clarity creates intention. And the reason I say that, and what I mean by that, is a lot of people think they know what they want in life, from their business, from their relationships, and from their life in general. And they think they know what you want until you really press, until you really ask. It's like, well, look, let's get specific. You say you want to grow your business. Well, to what and to where? And most people really actually have no idea what they want. They don't know what they're trying to do with their business. They don't have the clarity they need. And so I think it's so important to spend time getting that clarity and getting specific with what you want to achieve, looking at what other people are achieving, and that then creates intention. And so once you have the clarity around what you want, you can then do everything with a lot more intention. You can look at, okay, if I want to build my business to this scale, who are the other businesses in my industry that have done that already? Who are the business owners? How did they do it? Who are the people I need to learn from? What are the rooms I need to get in? What are the skills or knowledge that I need to acquire and go out and get? And so you can be very intentional within your learning, within your actions. And like, people talk about the law of attraction, right? And my theory or belief around the law of attraction is that you don't just put these things on a vision board and the universe magically gives them to you. What I believe happens is you spend time, I believe clarity is a superpower, and when you spend time getting clear with what you want, you then become far more intentional, and your actions become directionally correct. And so you're constantly going in the right direction, one foot in front of the other, towards that end goal, and your mind, your brain is then more open to those opportunities and seeks out those opportunities, your reticular activating system. So clarity creates intention. The second thing is you have to believe that it's possible and possible for you. Self-belief comes first for anything, because if you don't believe it to be possible for you, you'll never truly take the necessary action required, or at least push through the resistance and pain of achieving success in a realm, whether it's business or something else. And there's a reason that we host these masterminds in a $20 million villa on the Palm in Dubai, a 7-hour flight away from the UK where the guests are from, and we get them in a physical room together. This will lead me on to my next point, but the reason we do that is because when you meet some of these guest speakers, all of the guest speakers, you meet these people and you hear about their stories and the businesses they've built, and there's something so powerful about being in physical proximity with these people and realizing that actually, yes, they're smart, yes, they've acquired the skills they've needed to grow and the knowledge they've needed, and they've pushed through hardship and they've played a long-term game, but they aren't necessarily these hyper intellectual, high IQ, gifted beings that we could never compete with. And it reinforces the belief system that if they can do it, I can do it. And I always say one of the most empowering belief systems you can adopt is what one man can do, I can do. And when you're in physical proximity with people like that, it's special. It really reinforces that belief. So the next one is environment is everything. And you guys might have seen a video I've done on YouTube before where I talk about if you change your environment, you can change your life. And the reason environment is everything is because for similar reasons like I just mentioned, your environment is your biggest dictator of performance. That's just a fact. And if you want to change your life, you've got to get into the right environment. And you're right, your environment is the people you surround yourself with. It's also where you live, where you hang out. It's the content that you consume. It's all of these inputs, these external inputs. And again, the reason we host these events in a complete other country, specifically Dubai, is one, we want to take people out of their existing environment where they're very comfortable, they're maybe somewhat stuck, they're from an area in maybe the UK where the definition of success is earn a certain amount of money per year, and then you throw them in a totally new environment. And the reason we chose Dubai is because Dubai has a lot of wealth, of course, but it's a lot of wealth on show. It's not hidden wealth like you have in London. And the benefit of that is it just reminds you how much opportunities are out there, but it reminds you that there's a bigger game to be playing. And so one of the first guest speakers we had at this mastermind, I won't say their name because I'd rather kind of share their numbers and give you a indication of the size and scale of their businesses, for example, but their business turns over, I believe it was around 80 or 90 million, I think $85 million per year, which they'll do this year. They're looking to exit the business for about 120 million in the next 2 years, so he can then move into the next stage of his life, which is going to be more around philanthropy, which is beautiful and incredible. And the way he was talking was if it's just going to be a light 100 million. So this guy's got investments that pay for his lifestyle. Another thing he said is, you know what, I'm not a frugal guy. I don't need much. If I can just have $70,000 a month come in from my investments, I can live how I need to live. And he said that in such a nonchalant way, not in an egotistical way, not in a hey look at me way. He said it's like, this is my standard. And the way he would talk about his friends and the people he surrounds himself with that are billionaires, he still feels like a small fish. And it reminds you that, again, there's a bigger game to be playing. And I know the way he talks about his friends that have all got $100 million plus companies. And then we also had Daniel Priestley, very well-known business, not just author, he's an incredible business operator, he's an incredible speaker. He spent the whole day with us. He was very generous with his time and unbelievable amount of value. He talked about how over the last few months, for example, he's had multiple of his friends that have sold their businesses for 9 figures, to the point where it just is what it is. It's like, yeah, cool, congratulations, but join the club. And I know for many watching this might just seem so out there and so far out of reach, but when you're in an environment with these people and you're around these people, and even on where we are on the Palm, these houses are 15, 20, 30 million, 40 million dollars, and there's hundreds of them. And you see the cars on the driveway. There's a house down here where we drove past it one day. There was a LaFerrari, a Bugatti Chiron, there were 2 Ferrari F12s parked back to back on the same driveway. Went back the same night, those cars had maybe gone to the garage, and he had a Lamborghini Countach outside and an old classic Ferrari. And once you've seen and experienced these things, it's hard for your mind to go back to its previous dimensions and previous ways of thinking, and it resets your standard of what's possible, which all then loops back to point number one I made, which was you have to believe that it's possible. And when you're around these people and you see that they are just like you and I, it really helps instill that belief that if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. And so environment is everything. The fourth thing is that you have to become a media company with a business on the back end. I actually had a dinner with a friend. I actually met them for the first time a couple of nights ago, but we've been connected on social media for a while, and they've been personal branding and creating content for a number of years, but they made the conscious decision a few months ago that they really want to go all in on their brand, and it worked. They're getting tens and tens and tens of millions of impressions on their social media, and it's unlocked massive scale in their business. It's unlocked massive opportunity in terms of network and partnerships that have been thrown his way. And Daniel Priestley as well, who came yesterday, he's obviously the author of Key Person of Influence. He was one of the original people to kind of put the spotlight on personal branding when he wrote that book back in 2008. I believe it was off the back of Barack Obama winning the presidential election by utilizing social media. And the success that I've had with, I think I haven't created a huge amount of content, obviously created more than most, but with what I have done, it's unlocked a huge amount of opportunity. And one of my big goals and ambitions for the next year is to really take it to the next level, take a quantum leap forward in terms of the content output, the personal branding, sharing my message with the world, and adding value through content like this. And everything is downstream from attention. The more attention you can get, the more people that know, like, and trust you, the more, if you're in property, the more capital that you can raise from private investors. If you have products or services that you sell, the more customers you're going to have for that, the more partnership opportunities are going to be presented to you. And network. My friend that I went for dinner with a few nights ago, we met through social media. In fact, a lot of my highly valued friendships now originate through connecting on social media, where you can see people have shared values, shared vision, and you have mutual friends, and then you come to other countries and you connect and you have these beautiful conversations. We sat for 4 hours and just spoke about business and growth and sharing best practice. It was incredible. And when I talk about becoming a media company with a business on the back end, this was actually planted in my head in a mastermind I paid $50,000 for in Dubai last November, so over 12 months ago, from an individual that's very successful on social media and as a business operator as well. And he said, we don't consider ourselves to be a business that has social media as just a traffic channel. It's actually, we consider ourselves to be a media company where we create media and attention, and then our business is on the back end where we just monetize that attention. And I think that is how you want to start thinking about your business, and stop thinking of social media as a chore or something that's, oh, I didn't have time for it today. It's one of the most valuable things you can be doing, because when you have a personal brand, it's having friends and fans at scale. It's just a way to scale your friendships, essentially, and have more people that know, like, and trust you. And so that's a big one for me, is becoming a media company. And then lastly, the other thing I've kind of observed is that the game is just, a lot of it is just pattern recognition. So again, from hosting this event over 4 days, we have all of these incredible guest speakers come through that have built very successful businesses. Each have achieved success in different ways, through different businesses, different vehicles. But there are patterns. And as Tony Robbins always says, that I learned from an early age, is that success leaves clues. And you've got to see what these patterns are. Patterns in the way they think, the way they make decisions, the beliefs that they hold to be true about the world, about themselves, what they value, their character traits. There are patterns. And once you spot these patterns, and you've seen it in 5, 6, 7 people over the course of a few days that have all built 8-figure, 9-figure businesses, it's very hard to ignore. And at that point you just think, well, that must be it then. And so I'll leave you with that final point, is that success leaves clues, and you constantly got to be trying to see what are the patterns among successful people, because success is rarely an accident. Those that have had success multiple times for extended periods of times, it's not by luck, it's not by accident, it's because there's certain principles and there's a science behind success and building wealth. And the more you can spot those patterns, the more you can implement them into your own life and your own business, and the more success you'll have. So there are just 5 of many reflections from this mastermind, and hopefully that was valuable for many of you, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace and love from Dubai.